Welcome to your journey into Bronze 1, and thanks for taking the time to learn a little bit more about your dance program. The reason that we do this session is to provide our students with the resources and information necessary for them to get the most out of their dancing in their program from the beginning of their Bronze 1 journey. The first question you might have is, what is your program? Your program starts with the sheet of paper in the front of your binder, which includes your dances, your goals, your plan, and other information about your dancing, but it expands into all the different aspects that the studio has to offer. That includes your buddy teachers, it includes a supervisor and their job description, it includes the group classes and parties, the events that we hold, the coaches that we have, and everything in between. So our goal today is to have a well-rounded and big picture view of what is included in your dancing and how you can get the most out of it. The first thing that we'll talk about today is our team teaching system and the role of our supervisor. Team teaching means that going forward in your dance program, you'll always have at least 2 teachers in charge and overseeing your dancing and your learning so that you can have various perspectives, various personalities, ease of scheduling, and overall a group of people that are kind of in charge of moving your dancing forward. The supervisor is the person that kind of oversees all of our advanced teaching department students, and they're in charge of your progress. They're in charge of making sure that you check out of your level, get information on events, and are available for questions as you go forward. The primary role of the supervisor at the beginning of your journey is that they'll be responsible for doing progress checks and lesson visits. So when they come out on your lesson, you'll see that they're an additional resource to help you make progress, as well as the one that checks you out of the levels when you finish Bronze 1 and hopefully Bronze 2, 3, and 4 in the future. And are a great resource to always make sure that you feel included and know what's going on in the studio. The next thing we'll talk about is the medalist training versus the routine training that you start to get into in Bronze 1. Medalist training is based on the Arthur Murray system of teaching, which starts in Bronze 1, which is our current level, and expands Bronze 2, 3, and 4 into silver, into gold, and is kind of the basis for what Arthur Murray created back in 1912 when he started Arthur Murray Dance Studio. So the medalist training is designed to make you a competent social dancer and gives you skills like pattern knowledge, adaptability, an ability to lead and follow any partner, an ability to dance on crowded dance floors, an ability to dance to fast, medium, slow, or something in between in terms of music, and all the skills that make you a competent social dancer are learned in the medalist training in our Bronze 1. We can compare that with routine training, where, contrary to popular belief, routine training is actually not specifically designed just to perform at a competition or a performance or anything like that. Routine training is the type of training that we do that allows you to focus on a specific set of choreography and usually a specific set of music as well. And it allows you to focus on the skills and the quality of what you're doing in your body. So the goals of routine training are structure, because we have a set structure, technique and character, because it allows you to develop the technique and character of that dance that you're focusing on, styling and expression, because you spend enough time with that set of choreography and a piece of music that you can start developing the styling and expression of that, and then potentially performance value. So if you do perform that dance, whether it be for one other person or an event, it allows it to be locked in your body so that you can really retain the information and own it for a long time to come. So you might ask, okay, why do we do both types of training? And the reason that we do both types of training is that it allows our students to kind of fast track their learning by focusing on different aspects of your dancing. The next thing that we'll talk about is the Arthur Murray system. So it's the 3-part system, personal lessons, group classes, and parties, that the Arthur Murray system is based on and has made us successful for over 110 years. All right, so personal lessons are obviously the crux of the learning and allows us to personalize the learning in whatever way you want. In terms of the personal lessons, there's a couple important points that we want to make sure that we know. The first is that you should always learn something new. So every lesson you should walk away with some type of new material. That being said, it's not always a new pattern. It could be a new skill, a new way to use your arm or your leg, or new styling. But you should always feel like every lesson you walk away with some type of new information that makes you. The other important part of the personal lessons is that a lot of times our students would like homework that they can practice off of their lesson time or between lessons. And what we recommend in those situations is that you get a notebook or you take a video at the end of your lesson of what you did on that lesson, and your teacher can give you homework assignments, little drills or exercises to practice on your own that then you can do in between lessons if you'd like. It's not required. That then you can make progress in between lessons and feel like you're always building each and every day. The next thing we'll talk about is the group classes. So the group classes are designed to learn new patterns and new dances. So the first misconception is that if you go to a group class, you should memorize perfectly that pattern. You should be able to do it at the next party on the next lesson. And the goal with the group class is that you've been shown the information so that when you try it on a lesson or in a party, you're familiar with it and you can learn it faster the next time you learn it. But it's not fair to expect yourself to memorize every single thing that you learn in the group classes. All right. The next thing is that we want to make sure that you're attending level appropriate classes. So at the beginning, Bronze 1 is our level, so you should be attending Bronze 1 classes. You can continue to attend the basics classes as well as the open level group classes. So the social variety or the skills classes are great opportunities for you. All right. The last aspect of the group class is that we want to maintain a self-focused strategy, which means that if people have questions, a lot of times there's some chatter and we want to help each other, and it makes it a little bit difficult for the teacher to maintain the structure and the flow of the class. So if you ever have questions, you always direct it to the teacher, and we're not giving or receiving tips from each other because it creates a little confusion and sometimes makes it uncomfortable for some of our students. The last aspect that we'll talk about is the practice parties. So the practice parties are the bridge from learning something to doing it. And I think the biggest recommendation we have for the practice parties is to attend as early as you can, even when you feel like you're not ready. And the reason is when you attend practice parties, it's a whole new skill that you're learning. So if you've had many lessons, but you've never put your dancing in a social situation, no matter how long you've danced for it, it'll always be difficult. So we have to get through that discomfort as early as possible and start to feel what it's like to dance with different people, with other people on the floor, to different types of music. And that gives you the skill that you want to have in a social dance environment, but it can't be done without attending the party. So feel free in the parties, we always ask each other to dance. So leaders can ask followers, followers can ask leaders, you can dance with the teachers, other students, but never feel that you're out of place or too new to attend a party, because we're all there for the same reason and we all support the different places that we're at in our dancing. In terms of the three-part system, our summary is how can we maximize our system? And our first point is to attend the parties. Second one is to take notes, so you can always kind of keep a running list of what you've been focusing on so you don't forget. Do your homework, so if you have little drills or exercises that your teachers give you, you can do those in between lessons or before and after, and then participate. So anytime an opportunity arises to get outside your comfort zone, we always recommend that you do it once, see how you like it, and assess from there whether you want to do it going forward. All right, now let's talk about your progress. So one of the biggest questions that we get from our Bronze 1 dancers is how do we maximize your progress and get your most out of your dancing? And the biggest advice that we can give is that your progress is not based in calendar time, that you've been dancing for a month or 6 months, a year, or 10 years, but it's about the amount of time that you spend dancing, right? And learning and practicing and improving. So our recommendation in terms of your progress is to set a goal in terms of how many lessons, groups, and parties you want to attend each week or each month, and try to hold yourself to some semblance within reason, not invoking any stress or discomfort, that allows you to stay on track with your learning. So if you want to attend a group class a week, or a group class every week and a party every month, or a group class and a party every week, whatever feels realistic and motivating for you is what we recommend setting as a goal for yourself, and then also sharing that with your instructors so they can help hold you accountable to the things that you want to achieve. The planning that your teachers do is based on the aforementioned pace of your lessons, groups, and parties, and an attempt to maintain it is encouraged to allow you to get the most progress in your dancing. Some of the things that help are standing lessons are an opportunity for you to set a recurring lesson time at a time that generally works for you, that you hold in the schedule, and then you move on times when you're traveling or unable to make it for any reason, all right? And then the last recommendation is that practice makes permanent. So one of the cool features of Arthur Murray is that we allow our students to practice in the studio anytime that we're open. So whether you want to come in the afternoon or on a Saturday or in the evening, you can always use the dance floor to practice, even if you don't have a lesson or group that you're attending. So you always have the opportunity to have the space to improve your dancing. As a Bronze 1 dancer, you now have your own chart, which houses your program, your lesson blocks, and your dance pages. Our chart combines over 100 years of experience with the most current and up-to-date information, and it ranges from Bronze 1, which is your current level, all the way up through Silver, Gold, and Gold Bar. At the end of each level, you'll do a checkout with the manager or supervisor, which levels you up from Bronze 1 into Bronze 2. and is based on knowing the school figures in each level, as well as being able to lead and follow with your instructor or your partner each of the dances that you're checking out of. Each year, at our annual Medal Ball, we celebrate all the graduates from the past year, and it's also one of our most popular social dancing galas of the year. So the last couple of things that we'll talk about today are the events and then the coaches that we have into the studio. So our events are a chance to provide a milestone in your journey, as well as a chance to kind of grow your skill set in new ways. Our recommendation is always to try every event once, because you'll never know what you'll enjoy, and sometimes our students tend to enjoy things that they never thought that they might really fall in love with. We'll provide an event overview sheet that gives you kind of a general summary of all the different events that we have, how frequently they happen, where they're located, the cost, the attire, and everything in between, so that then when you're seeing posters or emails or information for all the different things that we have, you'll kind of have a little bit of a summary or a guide that will kind of allow you to process the information a little bit better. The way that we like to think about the events is through the idea of the circle of success. So the circle of success is a diagram that, as you can see, starts with the private lessons, expands to the groups and parties, to the in-studio events, Medal Ball, Showcase, mini comps, and eventually Dancerama. So by thinking about all the events as kind of an expanding circle, it provides you the next jump that you can make from one level to the next as a way to grow your comfort zone and to continually make progress in your dancing. So if you're currently in the private lessons and you're not sure what you can do next, you can look at the groups and parties. If you're currently attending parties but not sure how to grow from there, you can look at the in-studio events and so on and so forth. So it's really a way to think about the event participation as a ladder or a circle, that by continually growing from one circle to the next, it provides a tangible sense of progress in both your medalist and your routine learning. The last piece outside of the core Arthur Murray system of lessons, groups, and parties, in addition to the events, is the coaches that we have into the studio, usually on a monthly basis. Our Arthur Murray coaches are usually high-level teachers and dancers that bring a wealth of knowledge and really high-level communication for all levels of dancers. So if you're curious about how to get involved in the coach, our first recommendation is to attend a workshop, which is a group class, that usually focuses on something beyond the basic steps of the dance, whether it's a technique, whether it's a grouping, but something that makes the dance more exciting and more character-filled or more technical or having more depth in the dance that you're studying. And it's a great way to expand into kind of the world of coaching, which is a nice resource to be able to work with some of the top teachers and top dancers that we have in our company. Before we finish, we just want to go over a couple of key points to make sure that you have all the relevant information as you go forward in your dancing. The first one is that we do a guest program, so that any guest, whether it's a friend, family, or acquaintance that you recommend and they take at least 3 lessons, we reward you with a free personal lesson. And that goes for as many guests as that you want to have join the studio. Just make sure that they let us know that you sent them. All right. The second one is that we do shows and event instruction. So what that means is that we can do teaching. So we've done a number of corporate events where we do kind of team building things. We'll teach a salsa class. We'll go to different companies. We've done birthday parties. We've done all types of fundraisers. So if you ever have an event that you need teachers or some type of excitement, we've done shows as well where the teachers will actually perform certain dances. We love kind of expanding beyond the walls of our studio and allowing our students to see us in different lights, as well as getting to interact with the community. So shows and event instruction is definitely a part of the studio that's always available if you ask. And then the last thing is that we do rent the facility for different events if you're ever interested in a space for that. We're here to make your dance journey as enjoyable and smooth as possible through Bronze 1 and any future level that you progress into. Learning to dance is a really special experience, and we're grateful to be part of this journey with you.